Hey everyone, Leroy here with another weekly update. So we are now officially over the 200 mark in terms of our positive COVID-19 case count amongst our employee base. It's ramped up considerably coming out of the holidays. We had instituted a pool testing process at our US-based facilities where we had the majority of the issues and have had 18 positives come out of that since we instituted that. A number of those individuals were actually asymptomatic, so it's a good thing that we did the testing measures coming out of the holidays. So we've been able to take those employees and pull them out of the system and have them self-quarantine before being able to come back into our operating sites. All of this is, again, just another reminder of the importance of following the COVID-19 protocols, masking up, social distancing, washing your hands often, disinfecting commonly used surfaces, those sorts of things. In the U.S., if you haven't yet, you will be seeing soon a video that Jim Sullivan, Joe Dowd, and I did last week that speaks about the impacts that the virus has had on our people and our business. It's important that you watch that, take some time to think about how you can recommit to stopping the spread. Again, that was primarily focused on the U.S. Because of the issues we've had here in the U.S. Internationally, we continue to be doing very, very well, have only had 3 positive cases since the pandemic began. So fantastic job there. In the U.S., again, please continue to think about how you can play a part in taking on that personal responsibility to stop the spread. As we approach Inauguration Day here in the U.S., which is coming up next week, there's been multiple reports of potential armed protests occurring either at Washington, D.C. or in other state capitals and other major cities. And we certainly saw what mayhem could occur in situations like that last week. I just want to continue to remind all of our employees and urge you to the extent that you feel the need to participate in any protests, that you do that peacefully and non-violently. That is your God-given right as an American, but again, want to make sure that you think very hard before crossing the line into some of the behaviors that we saw last week. There could be dire consequences for that, and we certainly wouldn't want that for any of our people. So again, you're welcome to your views, but let's make sure that we express them in a constructive manner. Back in 2017, we revamped our whole performance development process, eliminating annual performance reviews and ratings and moving towards a more timely and frequent feedback mechanism between management and employees. And over the past couple of years, we've received a lot of feedback from various employees that we've been able to incorporate into a new process called LEAP, which stands for Lead, Empower, Aspire, and Perform. And so this new process, which is going to provide tools to help managers and employees continue to have more robust conversations about their performance and development opportunities, is getting rolled out this week through Culture and Engagement. I want to thank the folks there in that part of the organization who've done a fantastic job pulling this all together. So stay tuned for you and look in your inboxes for that information to come. In this week's Hats Off section of our video, I'd like to give a tip of the cap to our Grafton employees in Australia. As most people are probably aware, Australia can deal with some oppressive temperatures in the summer, which is the season they're in right now. And at our wood treating locations there, the vast majority of our employees are working outside in that heat every single day. So our folks in Grafton have come up with a great idea of creating mobile misting stations to help cool the employees down throughout the day. So if you've been to amusement parks, you've probably experienced something like this. Many of them have misting stations that you can go to stand in front of a piece of equipment that will emit that fine mist that will cool you down, make you a little bit more comfortable in what might be an otherwise uncomfortable day. Similar concept, only at Grafton they've created them to be mobile, where they can move them around throughout the site. Actually got a glimpse of it when I was there last at the end of 2019. Hats off to Grafton for your ingenuity and using some common sense tactics to put them to work in our efforts for constantly seeking zero harm. So again, thank you to you. We're going to plan to, I think, put them out on a bigger scale and roll them out to Bunbury and Takura, as well as look to do something similar, maybe even in the U.S. at some of our sites. So hats off, Grafton. Fantastic job. With an eye towards the weekend, our U.S.-based employees for the first time will have Monday off in recognition of Martin Luther King Day. Now, Monday is also a national day of service, so at a minimum, I'd encourage everybody to consider performing an act of kindness. Dr. King was a prominent American civil rights leader who fought for equality and human rights for all victims of injustice through peaceful action, and his legacy extends well beyond U.S. borders. Yet his belief in solving complex societal issues through peace, unity, civility, and love are core concepts that we all should seek to embrace and put into action every single day. Amongst his many accomplishments, he was integral in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which ended segregation in public places and outlawed discrimination in the workplace based upon race, color, religion, and national origin. And while Dr. King's work opened the doors of progress for many, what we've seen over this past year is we still have a long way to go to seek and achieve true equality. I want to thank everyone for tuning in this week. Until I see you again next week, I urge everybody, please continue to stay safe and stay strong.